When did you realize you're not as intelligent as you thought you were? Honestly, used to basically be a poster child for the I am very smart sub. Mostly because I was one of those kids who growing up was told I was apparently gifted, so that gave me this god complex of thinking that I knew everything. It honestly took me till like the middle of middle school to really suddenly start realizing just how little I knew. I entered university. Half of the people there are smarter and / or had a better education. And the other half is equally smart as you. Really makes you realize how small your world was. I can see how much of an idiot my dad is. Then I realized how often I've done many of the same stupid things he has. When I try to learn a foreign language, a baby can do it easily, but for me it's a struggle. 6 months after I started med school, I often use a little bit of knowledge that I know to explain something to people I really don't understand because I'm good with people. One day a young kid at work basically said, "I feel like you know just enough to talk about stuff but not enough to really know anything, no offense," and I was like, God damn, he's right. Only my mom was telling me how smart I was. Back when I was a cook, I was making tortilla cups for salsa. To do this you use a little ramekin on a stick to submerge them in the deep fryer. I dropped the tool in. And a waitress said, "Oh no. How are you going to get it out?" I sarcastically replied that I would use my hand. While getting a pair of tongs and beginning to fish it out, I dropped the tongs in as well. And immediately stuck my hand into boiling oil chasing after them. Somehow I wasn't burned, wet hand maybe, but I now know I'm either stupid or impervious to boiling oil guy. When I searched for my glasses in a panic for nearly 30 minutes. And they were on my face. Grad school in Germany, I'm from the US and did my BA there. I used to be the smartest kid in class. Had a 3.9 GPA and always spoke during discussions. I got to Germany and wow, their education system is truly better. I realized I was good at studying, in reality, memorizing and regurgitating facts and dates, but terrible at analysis and theory. When I transferred to a 4-year university after graduating community college. Literally by joining Reddit. I never thought I was super smart or some shit. But there's people in here who literally build computers for fun. Like scientists and everything. I will never be smart enough for that. I've worked in healthcare, so I do know something about chemistry and stuff. But not like that. I'll never be on that level and it makes me feel really stupid. When I was younger, admitting I didn't know something would give me anxiety, probably from how I was raised, and would get screamed at. It took some years after meeting quite established people that even though they were smart AF, they would always be able to say, "You know what? I didn't know that. Thanks for teaching me." It really opened my eyes on who is intelligent vs who just wants to look that way. All depends what you focus on. In college and later when working as a software developer, I was almost always the best programmer in the room. I was the go-to guy when someone needed help. Naturally, I thought I should try helping others with their problems online. Like on Stack Overflow or other help forums. Oh boy. I was not ready for the real programmers. I thought my answer was pretty good. Then in horror, I watched the masters pick my solution apart like vultures on roadkill. It was eye-opening. I knew I was young in my career. And that I still had a lot to learn. But this felt like I was back at square one. I keep in my lane now and only answer the basic questions. I was listening to an audiobook and I thought, why is there no subtitles for audiobooks for deaf people? That's just a book. I used to be ahead in elementary school. They told me I had a 6th grade reading level in 1st grade. From then on I've lost a lot of motivation to read and learn how to study well. A lot of my peers caught up eventually and I learned I'm now just below average. Learned I spelled raspberry wrong all my life. Why is there a P in the spelling and I can't even look at the fruit the same way? It's like it's a whole new food item to me and I can't stop thinking about it. I had kind of an opposite experience to what I think you are asking. For a good portion of my adult life, I existed thinking that I was missing out on something when I saw people who had a college degree. I always just assumed they knew more than I did and were smarter for it. I got my degree when I was 34 years old. All of my time in school I realized that those people who graduate aren't smarter than anyone else. They just went to school. It wasn't just the students, but the professors, too. It was a humbling experience to find out that there were such stupid people everywhere you looked. Even in the places where stupid is supposed to be sent to die. When I tried to put in my contacts shortly after chopping up jalapenos. Maybe around age 22? Late 1990s. Early 2000s. I was one of those kids that always tested into the AGT/GATE/gifted and talented programs at school. I won first place in an Odyssey of the Mind competition. In high school, I was always in honors classes. And by my senior year I had completed so many credits that I only needed to attend school every other day. I worked full-time at a really popular music shop. And was already working as a PA for big arena concerts by the time I was 17. Meeting and working for all kinds of famous people at the time. The thing about being a gifted kid is that you're only gifted if you're a kid. Otherwise, I was just being a regular person. With a job. Somewhere around 22. My work. My band. The fact that I lived alone away from my parents wasn't super special anymore. It sent me into a really deep depression. Because I realized I'd been sort of defining myself as a gifted human. But now nothing made me special anymore. Anytime I got praise at work, it just didn't hit the same. I was writing and playing music around town. Booking a lot of solo gigs and I always felt like a poser. A wannabe. And like why was I even trying anymore when so many people similar to my age and experience were starting to become more accomplished than me. I ended up quitting music altogether and moving to a completely different state in 2002. I started a career in hospitality and theater management. Staying backstage. Behind the curtain or behind the scenes instead. I became too emotionally attached to any small successes in my new city. And the personality I once had was shelved. I didn't listen to music anymore. I never went to shows or played at home for myself because it always took me back to a place of great shame. I am nowhere near as special as I was told I would be. I felt like I had been humiliating myself back home. Walking around like I had all this unique talent. When really I was insignificant and everyone knew it but me. I'm 43 now. I'm only just now pulling the mic stand out of my closet and dusting off old songs again. I completely missed my window for doing something big with my music. I'm too old to be a rock star and a lifetime of trauma and mental illness has taken a lot from me. But if 2020's lockdowns have given me anything, it's that I now can have days when I strap on my guitar, plug in the amp and sing myself back to 1994. When I was 17. Living in a suburb of Sacramento and having to sneak out of the house every Tuesday night to drive downtown to Café Paris, a 21 and over bar, and make my regular Tuesday night gig. I used to be a gifted kid. Now I'm kind of an eccentric adult. My voice sounds different than it did 20 years ago, but I can still hit the notes. My songs are the same, but they have different meaning. When I realize how much there was to learn. There's so much to learn. And not even our greatest geniuses can ever hope to know even 1/100th of it. That being said, my arrogance and pride in my intelligence is still present. Now accompanied by my frustration with how idiotic some people are. I can't say I was pessimist before the pandemic. But seeing everything that went down this year, it reminds me of the revelation I had in my teenage years. Being an adult does not lead to maturity or wisdom. I think the biggest gift I got about my own intelligence was learning that there are so many different ways to be smart. Some of the ways I'm not smart are more learnable than others. Some I'll always be mediocre at. Others I can slowly improve upon with work and dedication. Some don't really interest me at getting good at. Some I'll just never be good at no matter how hard I try. I read a lot. Like averaging a book every couple of days, so my vocabulary was good, but I didn't speak to people a lot until I was about 15, and turns out I was terrible at pronouncing a lot of words I read and ended up looking very stupid several times. I'd say it was when I dropped an empty plastic colander. Panicked because it was going to hit my foot. So I tried to quickly move my foot out of the way and ended up kicking the solid wood cabinets hard enough to split my toenail straight down the middle. The colander weighed maybe around 1/10 of a pound. It would not have hurt at all. Going from university to grad school. I did well in uni and was so confident. After first year in grad school. I know I am just average. There are people can remember lecture slides after reading over them. It's crazy. When a college prof told me I was a good test taker. Every time my wife is mad at me and I think of the perfect comeback, I remember how brilliant I am. And then I say it. I took all honors and advanced classes in high school. My average GPA equated to a B. Then I failed out of college twice. And I'm back for a third time where I just came to the realization that our solar system is in the Milky Way galaxy. When I got slightly more intelligent and could recognize my own stupidity. I might do it again once I bother to learn some more shit. First year of uni. I had it very easy in HS. I was one of the lucky bastards who could ace everything with minimal effort. Scored in the 99th percentile in my country's equivalent of the SATs. Etc. And then that first year of engineering just took a big ol' shit on everything I thought about myself. LOL. It was a pretty humbling experience. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm two people arguing. One keeps insisting we're clever AF. The other is begging us to realize that's BS before it's too late. Thanks for watching.